So my name is Meredith, and I am one of the GAs from the Office of Leadership and Engagement. And this session is going to be over getting involved at NAU, and then we'll also touch into different types of getting involved, like clubs and orgs on campus or Greek life. And there's a beautiful picture of me in case you forget what I look like later. And Elise, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Elise. I'm the other graduate assistant that will be leading this call. I work for the Office of Leadership and Engagement as well, and I work specifically with our Greek life chapters.
This is the rest of our team who could not be here today. We have Michelle, who is our director, Marissa, who is Elise's boss. They work on Greek life, FSL, that whole shebang, which can be quite a lot. Salvador is my supervisor, and so we are handling every club, organization, and chapter that isn't Greek life affiliated. And then we have Nancy, who was a part of the Get Involved program, which we won't get into too much today. All right, now this should be a video. I will. Doesn't seem like it wants to load right now, so we might just keep going. Alrighty. So this is a cute video, but I'm just talking in it, so you're not missing much. All it's supposed to do is hype you up and saying that getting involved on campus is super fun, super exciting. Lots of students do it, and they all go, get involved at NAU. And it's like, it's a really exciting video.
Yeah.
So getting involved, what does it mean? This refers to a whole bunch of different things on campus, and Elise, you can take it away.
Okay, yes. So for our students, getting involved means participating in volunteer opportunities. It could be also living on campus. This could be partaking in different on-campus activities. And it can even be just working on campus. We also have, like we mentioned before, so many different clubs and organizations that you can join to get involved. We also have different programs for leadership, such as our EDGE program, and so many more opportunities. So how do you find these opportunities? You really just have to keep your eye out. They're all over campus. You can find them within different departments. So it could be within your major. For example, there are many different research laboratories that you can join. We also have different internship opportunities. These can be through the university or out in the community. You can also volunteer. We have different guest speakers coming to campus a lot. Oftentimes we have a lot of celebrities coming, which is really exciting. Like I mentioned before, student employment opportunities. You can also attend different professional conferences to learn about these different ways to get involved. And then many of our students also study abroad. And more specifically in how to find them, we recommend going to your professor's office hours, as well as just looking at different flyers that might be posted around campus or on those campus TVs. Also just word of mouth, talking to one another, talking to your supervisors, your coworkers, your fellow students. And then we do have a bunch of different social media accounts, and also follow social media accounts that are outside of our office and department. So whether that be within your major or athletics or all those different areas around campus. So why do our students get involved? Our students get involved because it offers them persistence. And when I say persistence, I'm referring to being able to complete your degree and graduating. It also provides them with a sense of community and belonging. Belonging is a big thing that we're focusing on campus-wide, and belonging really helps counteract that imposter syndrome that a lot of us experience. Imposter syndrome is a common but false belief that you may not be enough to succeed. Belonging also helps with intersectionality. We all have different identities that interconnect and make us who we are. And exposure to these groups can really help you identify which connections between your identities create a picture of who you are, who you want to be, and then how to get there. Identifying with these groups or places can really help you figure out which groups you want to join. It also helps our students find self-efficacy. Self-efficacy means believing in your own ability to do tests and reach goals. And lastly, our students get involved to help further their leadership and professional skills. Next, we have some barriers as to why students might not get involved. These are very valid reasons. However, some of our opportunities may be more accommodating to these barriers. So like I talked about before, these barriers could be imposter syndrome. Maybe they don't find a sense of belonging in the different ways of getting involved, or they could just be overwhelmed. You know, there's a lot that comes with being a college student, and so it might just be too much to balance. Maybe they're unaware of all the different options we have, or maybe they're not feeling represented by what is available on campus. Many families also might prefer their students not to join. This could be because maybe they don't understand the meaning of the club and org, or the student has a commitment to their family, whether that be time-wise, work-wise, or financially.
So there's a lot of reasons why students might not be able to get involved or get involved as much as other students. However, we do want to let you know that it's incredibly important and can help you in so many ways to get involved. Additionally, you don't need to feel FOMO. If you don't know what FOMO means because you're a boomer like me, that is the fear of missing out. And when you come to college, you're soon going to find that there are so many opportunities and it will be impossible to take advantage of them all. And so sometimes it's going to be some priorities. I know that when I was a freshman, I actually couldn't get involved in certain student organizations because it conflicted with my work schedule. That didn't mean I didn't want to get involved, but what it did mean is that I shifted things around my sophomore, junior, and senior year so that way I could work and get more involved on campus, and I really enjoyed them both. Additionally, it's another misunderstanding. Professional opportunities can still be places to have fun. As a student, when I was an undergrad, I went to several conferences. Typically, this can be a pretty fun event where people you know, either in your research lab, in your classes, in your org, or just friends, want to go to a conference together. But then to save on costs, y'all want to see how many people can bunk together in the same hotel room, right? And so there are a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun to be had in professional opportunities. It may not look the same as what you're used to. It may still have some expectations to them, some responsibilities, but they can be very fun. And if you're excited about them, you're going to have even more fun there too. Yeah, and also make sure you're scheduling your classwork and your outside opportunities in a way that decrease how overwhelmed you can be. So again, if you're trying to go to every single social get together, every single party, every single professional development opportunity, every single uh, student org lecture, you're going to be stressed out. But if you're like carefully choosing, okay, well, I need some time tonight for myself, and tomorrow night I'm going to need time to study. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to really need to hang out with some people because I would have been cramped up in my dorm room too long. It's really important to like figure out what kind of flow do you need so that you can survive successfully in grad school and have both fun and accomplishment. Another reason I think we breached on this briefly earlier of why do some people join student organizations? Well, one of the main reasons is that you can get connected. And the ability to network is one of the most powerful reasons to attend a university. If you are, you're friends with this one person in your intro class your freshman year, you end up hitting it off for the entire length of your college, and then you go into similar fields, they might be that job referral you need down the line. So even if you don't want to do everything, it's still important to get involved however you can to make the most of your degree. So there are a whole bunch of types and clubs of an organizations. So clubs and orgs are one way to get involved on campus, and they're the main way that the Office of Leadership and Engagement tries to facilitate this get involved atmosphere. So as we talked about briefly, Greek life, it can also be called fraternity and sorority life. But I don't want you to get confused, all right? Just because an organization is labeled a fraternity or sorority somewhere doesn't necessarily mean that they're Greek affiliated. So that's can be confusing for people, but we can elaborate on that if you'd like. We also have academic organizations. So these can be honor societies. These can be a special interest that people have, and it's related to their degree program. And so they're trying to professionally develop themselves outside of the class. There can be advocacy groups. So you want to see a certain change in the world or on campus, you might be able to join those. We do have campus departments or programs like the Office of Leadership and Engagement. There's so many other offices that can also help you get involved, like the Office of Undergraduate Research, things like that. There are cultural organizations. So if you do want to have a sense of belonging that's related to certain identity variables, you might be able to find it on campus. Recreation or game, this can be a pretty broad category. Uh, and this can be anything that is a sport, but is not affiliated with NAU athletics or NAU sport clubs. So this can range from like the board game club all the way to like, I think like frisbee golf type of thing. It can be a pretty broad range. Representative organizations refer to organizations like ASNAU, which is Associated Students of Northern Arizona University. So ASNAU is the students that are elected into office in the ASNAU, and they do represent all of the undergraduates. If you're a freshman and you're interested in getting started in this type of way, getting more knowledge in the representative club and org, we also have the new student. Elise, please help me out. New student government.
Yeah, it's the freshman, right?
Yes. So, and lots of students start in new student government and then they get transferred up to ASNAU. And they're doing amazing things. When you come to campus, if you haven't already, you'll see that there are like a tampon and pad like devices in a lot of bathrooms, and those were actually put in place by ASNAU. So that's one of the causes that they like fundraised for and got put in place. Campus living community councils. So this can be some groups that are in the residence halls and live together. Service or honorary clubs. These refer to clubs like the Cayettes, things like that, that their goal is to go and give back to their community. And they want to do it with like-minded people who also want to give back to their community. Special interest is amazing. Essentially, if you don't want any of the other stuff, but you want a reason to stick around, you want a place to find friends, you can find, we have the Feral Cats Alliance. These are just people that go around and save cats. Their special interest can kind of be anything. And sport clubs are a little bit more official. They might have a more strict schedule and things like that, but those are also available and we can talk a little bit more about them as well.
Okay, next I want to talk a little bit about fraternity and sorority life. I'm just going to touch on the basics. But we have 25 chapters and they fall under 3 different councils. So those 3 councils include our intra-fraternity council, our United Greek Council, which consists of multicultural chapters, and then College Panhellenic Council, which oversees the sororities. So last year combined, our councils raised $315,000 for local and national nonprofits. And they also completed 19,000 hours of community service, and most of these are done locally in Flagstaff. So like I said, I'm just going to kind of cover the basics. If you have more specific questions at the end, we can go over those as well. But if you're interested in going through recruitment process, we have our formal recruitment this fall, and we have sign up information at nau.edu/FSL. And you can also find links to where to register for recruitment in our Instagram account, which is at NAU Greeks. And our councils also all have their own specific Instagrams that I can type in the chat if anyone's interested.
And so feel free, if you're interested even the slightest bit in Greek life, I'd go ahead and take a photo of that now, just to be sure. And Elise, I have a question for you. Do all like Greek life, do they all do community service? How is that related? Because I didn't do Greek life.
Yes, so most chapters have a requirement, so each member has to meet. It varies. Some chapters do, they only have to do 5 hours of community service this semester. Some chapters require their members to do 15. So it just depends on what chapter you're in. And of course, you can always exceed those hours and do as many as you want. But almost all of them do have a service requirement, and many of their events revolve around service and philanthropy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Hopefully that helps some people in the chat. So, True Blue Connects. Since y'all are just starting at NAU, I'm going to tell you that you might hear this a lot. At least we say it a lot in our office. True Blue Connects is our website platform where all currently registered organizations are available for students to view. So if you wanted to, right now on a different tab, you could type in nau.edu/clubs, and it will take you to our True Blue Connect website. You'll log in with your NAU credentials. You might have to do the SSO, the single sign-on, where it matches up with your phone and you've got to type in a code. Might do that. And you will get this picture. You will see this. And it is a great platform because literally every single organization, and I think right now we have approximately 350, are listed here, and you can find them through the search. So you can look up either a type of organization, if you know the name of the organization, if you know something of what you're interested in, you could type in any of these keywords, and anything in the title or the description of that org will pull up following it. And as you can see on this left-hand side of this one photo, you can also search by category. So if you know you're looking for a cultural org, if you know you're looking for an academic org, if you even know you're looking for a sport org, you can filter there before anything else. So if you're like, oh no, I don't think I'm searching it right, I can't find what I'm looking for, you can look through all of those. When you click into any of these organizations, so let's say I was interested in the African Students Association, which is a great org, you'll be able to click into their profile and you'll be able to see their president's email address. You'll see their advisor's email address. You might see the phone number of the advisor. You also might see a general email to contact the org broadly, or even a phone number for the org. Oftentimes, if they have registered for their meetings for the semester, you can also see when and where all of their meetings are, including like big events that they have planned and approved and things like that. And that is part of our job right now during the summer. Even though you might think nothing's really going on, there are some student orgs that are already getting their meetings and stuff approved for the fall. So you might start seeing this in. You're going to see a larger influx of all this information in the first couple weeks of school when people do come back and start filling out their required forms and all of that. Alrighty, so we have a fun fact. And by a fun fact, I mean data for you. So 3.74 is the average GPA for club orgs or officers. So we talked about briefly in the past that, you know, a parent or a family member might not want you to get involved in a club or org. They might go, well, we'd rather you focus on your studies. We don't want you getting distracted, or we don't like the reputation of what you're about to join. But important to note that many students, especially those that are officers, actually do maintain a very high GPA. And they also have experience outside the classroom, which will help them in their career beyond. Additionally, 94% of first semester students involved in a club were retained to spring, compared to 90% of non-involved students. So if you're worried about making it to the next year, there's actually evidence that shows getting involved, finding your place on campus, having like cultivating a sense of belonging, having something outside of school, you know, motivating you at school is actually going to help you continue through your grade levels as well. And we'll go on to this, we'll go in more detail about this later on. And this is a fun graphic for it too. As you can see, bigger bars on the left and smaller bars on the right. You don't really have to know how to read a graph or anything like that to know that essentially a higher percent of students are retained to the next year and the next semester compared to those who aren't. And feel free to show this to your mom, your dad. your sibling who is griefing you about getting involved.
And this one basically is just another fun fact saying something similar. This is some of the research that we'll present to other university departments. In 2021, we analyzed first-time freshman cohort within the GPA range of 2.5 to 2.99, and we compared their retention rates. So from freshman to sophomore year within that GPA range, involved students were 66% likely to retain, and students who weren't involved were at 48%. And then for retention to junior year within that same GPA range, our involved students were at 47%, and then non-involved students were at 37%. So this basically says that joining a club positively impacts retention rates, especially for those students within that GPA range that we researched.
And that might be your GPA range. And also, fun fact about college, no one will ever ask you your GPA range from high school. Typically, they don't care anymore. It's a time for a fresh start, and you can, do your best, learn different school skills, and be better students in college. There is absolutely nothing saying you can't. Alrighty, so some leadership opportunities. So I did tell you that our office oversees the clubs and orgs, and it's a broad list. We re-register orgs, we approve events, things like that. But when we're not on our email, making sure all clubs and orgs are happy on campus, we are planning some leadership programs. So the one that we're actually plugging right now, and if you are interested in this, I really highly recommend that you stick around, ask questions, and we'll try to give you more information. But there is the EDGE Leadership Program. This program allows freshman students to move on campus a week earlier than other students. And then they're doing fun leadership activities, they're attending some leadership trainings, and they're making friends. So we also have some fun things sprinkled in, like there is some painting, I know for sure. We cover meals. We plan to do something like a treasure hunt this year where you're not just going to increase your familiarity with the NAU campus, you're actually going to familiarize yourself with Flagstaff downtown as well. Just downtown Flagstaff as well. And we're very excited about it. If you are interested in this, we are still accepting applications and confirmations, but those need to be happening before July 19th. So if you are interested, you can go to nau.edu/edge, or you can look me up, email me, call me, and we'll get you involved. Another program we have is the Presidential Leadership Fellows Program. So this is more for junior and senior college students. This can be a smaller group, and essentially we give upperclassmen some trainings a semester long, and we have presentations and we still do more fun activities and things like that. But it is focused on doing more intensive leadership training, giving real leadership experience, and trying to figure out, like helping students figure out how this applies to the real world. What are transferable skills, those types of things. If you aren't interested in like a bigger program that's either a semester or a week long, we also have some annual events. And for example, we put on the Black Leadership Summit. Last year was our first time doing it since COVID. And so we're very excited to have that again. And then we also have the Hispanic Leadership Program. So while these might be catering to specific identities, it is open to all identities. So if you're interested in learning more about leadership and how to optimize your school experience and these types of things, anybody can apply to come to these. They're like a day-long event, sometimes a 2-day-long event, and you'll be able to learn more about them.
All right, so next I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about getting involved and how that impacts you beyond NAU, beyond university and your college years. So getting involved in whichever way you made time for, were able to do, is a great way to build and play to your strengths and make you career ready. There's many transferable skills that come with getting involved, including communication, critical thinking, equity and inclusion, which is a big one, as well as leadership and professionalism, and then learning how to work on a team and even using different kinds of technology. So one study actually we found from the NACE survey, their website looked at percentages of employers regarding the important traits that they were looking for. So from the NACE website, they decided that these were the top 8 skills that employers were looking for. So you'll notice that none of these skills are really major specific, and this is because employers were really looking for transferable skills, which are skills that they're learned in one setting, but you can use them in multiple different settings or another setting.
Mhm.
So getting involved actually creates these opportunities to learn these skills that make you very competitive in the job market. I also want to mention that getting involved creates opportunities to connect with alumni. You can build your network, and that makes it much easier to get hired. We all know how important it is these days to build those connections and help yourself network. And getting involved is really a great place to start to make yourself
Mhm.
career competitive.
And so we got this data actually from the Career Development Office because we found that most students these days coming to college, they're not just trying to have fun on campus, things like that. They're trying to prepare themselves for the real world after college. And so you'll note that these eight are some skills you can get from getting involved. And you don't have to get involved through our campus. If you get involved in any way, you might be building these facets, which employers do look for. Additionally, you might hear, if you've ever heard this instead, if they're not called transferable skills, they might be called soft skills. But apparently at NAU, we do not call them soft skills because we're tough and we're lumberjacks. So I hope y'all enjoy that little tidbit. Alrighty, so what should y'all do, right? You came to this training, which means you've got some initiative to get involved and do either student org life or Greek life or what have you. How do you actually implement this when you get to school? How do you implement this after this training? So one, become familiar with your university college's club website. So that is True Blue Connects. Go play around with it, go have fun, go see cute photos that people have posted of their clubs. Email some people and go, hey, what are y'all doing in the fall? How do new members get join? Are y'all fun? You know, any type of vibe check you want to give them. Connect with our office. We try not to be scary. Um, if you come in, we'll try to give you some information. If you have any specific questions, we do our best to answer them. So if you're like, I'm looking for a club with this energy, we'll go, okay, I've got some clubs off the top of my head. Let me run them by you, see if you're interested in them. Attend club fairs. This is so important. So this happens at every school, but at NAU, we have 2 club fairs in the fall. The first club fair is going to be bigger and better than ever. Elise, do you have the dates for them by any chance? They're that first week of school or right before school starts?
Yes. So is it on Friday of orientation week? That would be the 23rd.
I think so. I think so. So the 23rd, our club fair is going to be bigger and better than ever. Typically, and I think we already have more than 100 clubs signed up for that fair. So you might run into the club of your dreams if you go there, but it's also going to be more fun than that. We're going to have fun yard games, rock climbing wall, things like that. And then also freshmen are typically invited to the club fair when they do the NAU letters on Sunday, the Sunday following that. And right before you go and make the NAU shape on the South Field, you'll be able to walk through our club fair, and we're likely going to have sometimes different clubs attending each day because it's all about their availability. So it's super fun. Other ways to get involved, attend university and club events. So sometimes we have events like our club fairs, like our leadership programs, but lots of departments might have events going on, and you'll be able to see which department's hosting it. We have a lot of Sun Entertainment events at NAU, and they tend to be super fun and sometimes like the rowdier events because you got like concerts and like super fun things. But also club events. So when you get on campus, if you haven't already, you're going to see bulletin boards all over the place, and they're going to be littered with flyers. And most of these flyers are going to be, come to our cool thing that this club is putting on. And you'll want to go to those, check those out. You don't have to join until you like what they're doing, right? Apply for our leadership programs. So like apply for Edge, please and thank you. Um, Visit our Get Involved lounge. So we have a Get Involved lounge. So if you came to come see us in our offices or our cubicles, you'll see this wide open space. We have a TV that we play music on sometimes. We have nice sitting areas, some leather chairs, some nice couches, and anybody's allowed to come. So you don't have to be a part of a club or an org. You could just be a student and want a place to hang out, and we are one of those spaces. Also, we plugged our FSL social earlier, so please just also follow the NAU Get Involved social broadly. You might see a lot of Elise and I on there because our bosses love to put us on there. It's because we're cute, guys. I promise. Here's some photos of it. I tried to describe it to you as best as I could, but you'll walk in to the left of this office, as you see in that second photo, and you can sit in any of these chairs. If you want to do homework, you could. If you wanted to just chat, that's also cool. And then if you have any issues with True Blue Connects, we have a True Blue station as well. So we want to open it up to any questions. I'm probably going to take this out off of screen share, so that way we can see the chat. But you don't need to be scared. Please go ahead and ask us questions. We are also students. We're just